One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar. Insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Whistles report he paves his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Somehow, some way, we are here on a thirsty Thursday morning. Hungover. Let's go. We're hungover today. Feels ultra good to be a G. You know what I mean? Guys, we have a lot that's going on in today's landscape, as you guys can see by the title. Trump's UK visit that is happening currently right now, and they're actually doing a press conference right now, and we're going to be tuning into a bit of that. House hearing on DC Oversight, as well as RFK Jr. vaccine advisors meeting and more. So that's what's happening. I'm not going to be able to present all of those things that you just heard on today's title, because these are things that are to be happening today. Some are happening right now, some are not. First thing we're going to talk about this morning is the Federal Reserve announces a quarter-point interest rate cut that happened yesterday. And then we have also Trump rips ratings challenged, I guess. Jimmy Kimmel after show pulled. And then Trump says he is designating Antifa as a terrorist organization, which I agree with full and 100%. Charlie Kirk shooting, firing squad, a legal execution method in Utah. As a lot of you guys know, we've been talking about the whole thing with Charlie Kirk and the shooter there, and how they do have a firing squad over there. Epic Universe guest dies after riding a Stardust Racers in Orlando. I'm guessing that's got to be, it's some sort of amusement park. I don't know. I've never been to Epic Universe, but we're going to talk about that a little later. Then, as well as the Associated Press is breaking news about an hour ago. NVIDIA will invest $5 billion in Intel. Both companies will work together on products for data centers and PCs. So that is our current lineup for this morning. Before we get into it, make sure you guys hit that like button. Helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. And if you guys are brand new to the show, hit that subscribe button because it's also free. Please consider, though, this is the money part, please consider becoming a member. Starting only at $2.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is the way that we stay on the show here, man. We don't want to be Jimmy Kimmel and not have anything behind us. It's because of you guys. Little side note here, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news. Great way to get a hold of me one-on-one, by the way. And we also have a Discord link. Naomi will throw that into the chat for you guys. And if you guys are watching this on the playback, make sure you guys go down to the description box of any video, any live video, and it'll have the invite link there for you as well. Last but not least on this call to actions, of course, every super chat, super sticker, gifted membership signups, all these things are going to be presented live onto the show. And of course, shout it out. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, well, check it out. We have these platforms right here that you guys can donate to, and I will shout it out right away. We have our email up, ready to go. So if anything comes through, I will immediately call it out. Great to see everybody in the building, man. And by the way, I want to give a special shout out to Motobomb. He had me on his show this morning, And I always appreciate hanging out with him and the coffee crew, man. Great bunch of people. And thank you for the raid, sending all your amazing people here as well. We got Gorilla Biscuits in the building, as well as Papa Penguin. Good morning to you guys. We got S&S, my man. Always appreciate you hanging out with us. Brother Steve Easy in the building as well. Let's see here. We got Naomi. We got, we're scrolling down. We got Brother Dean over there in Israel saying, evening all. Yes, good evening to you, kind sir. Great to see you. We got Lappy as well. Good morning, kind sir. Great to see you. We're scrolling down. I'm trying to catch up. We got Sick Bastard in the building as well. And yes, I see you, Brother Steve. Absolutely. Papa Penguin says Antifa gets designated as a terror organization. In the next breath, Trump is trying to get up to 600,000 Chinese students in American universities. Yeah, and I do agree with you on that. That is not something that I support, having 600,000 Asians come over here, for college and shit. We got Rabbit of Chaos. Good morning. Great to see you, by the way. I know that you probably had some shit going on, but we did miss you towards the end of the show yesterday. We got Gary as well. Good morning to you, kind sir. All right. And yes, I did thank him for the raid. Thank you, Moto Bomb, for the raid, by the way. And so you got 2 thank yous. All right, let's get into the first story here. The Federal Reserve drops a quarter-point interest rate. So let's go ahead and check this out.
All right, welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox. I'm Andy Mack. Let's turn our attention to the big economics news of the day as the Federal Reserve has decided to cut.
And this is the very first cut of the year of 2025, right? And so there's projected to be 2 more cuts, I believe, 2 or 3 more cuts. A quarter of a point, just so you guys know, is not a lot. It's not by far anything humongous. It's a step in the right direction, but a quarter of a point ain't really shit, to be honest. We saw some of the biggest jumps around COVID and stuff like that regarding the Federal Reserve. We saw them in 2020 and shit like that. During COVID, they would drop shit by a whole point, you know what I mean? So yeah, anyways. Back to this.
Interest rates by 25 basis points, the first cut of this year, but also signaled more to come in 2025 before 2026. But as investors, people in the market trying to read the room, still a little bit of uncertainty. As you can see now climbing about 260 points here on this day as markets close.
Did they really, Steve? That's so fucking crazy, bro. That's so crazy.
Closed a little bit ago. Let's be joined right now here by economics correspondent, columnist for Politico, Victoria Guida. Thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. And we saw what the quarter-point interest rate is about. We heard from Jerome Powell. What did you make of this development?
This is the first rate cut, but we don't know for sure how quickly.
Why can't you just have a decent fucking audio setup? Why do you have to sound like you're talking in a tin can from the 80s?
And how fast more might come, because the Fed is still a little bit worried about the fact that inflation is ticking up. And the reason why they took this step today is because they're worried about the labor market. And so if we continue to see signs of economic growth, we could see more cuts.
And we actually see most of our inflation in food. Real quick, because we're on this, and I really don't give a shit about this Victoria chick telling us from Politico what's really happening or whatever, I'm going to show you guys something. I looked into it yesterday regarding the interest. So let me go ahead and see if I can pull this up. One sec. I do have it right here. Okay, so I asked ChatGPT, right? Knowing me, that's what I do. I asked, let me see here if I have it here. Okay, so today the Federal Reserve dropped interest rates by 0.25%, which is a quarter point. How large is that? So today the Federal Reserve dropped interest rate by a quarter point. Is that a lot? And the answer is a quarter point or 25 basis points cut is meaningful, but it is relatively modest. Here are how large it is in context and what it signals. So what does a quarter point mean in context? It's the first rate cut by the Feds since December of 2024. It brings the federal fund rate down to a range of 4% to 4.25%, and from 4.25% to 4.5%. Many economists and markets were expecting a cut of this size. And then it answers about is a quarter point a lot? It says not really. It's more of a cautious move. Here are the reasons why. And then he lists me a few reasons. Let me see if there's anything else interesting in here. Okay, for instance, like in the 2008 housing market, when that whole thing happened, that's nothing compared to what we experienced yesterday with a quarter point being dropped, right? It says it's nothing like 2008 or 2020 shock cuts, but also not meaningless. It's a deliberate signal. It shows the Fed is easing off the brakes slowly after holding rates high to fight inflation without wanting to reignite price spikes. So anyways, I just wanted to present that to you guys and show you guys at least some of the information that I have on that. I really don't care about Homegirl and what she has to say on this. We did enough explaining on that. We're going to move on into the next, though. Trump rips rating challenged. I don't know what this means. Ratings challenged. Jimmy Kimmel after show was pulled. So let's go ahead and bring this up and see what Trump is saying regarding this whole thing.
Welcome back, everyone, to Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Page. Always great to be with you.
Real quick. We got Anson in the building. Great to see you, by the way. We got Steve Posey as well. Great to see you, by the way. Bill Castle over there in Washington State. Great to see you. All right, let's get back to
as we continue to bring...
Actually, what we probably got to do is you guys need to obey. That's what needs to happen.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking.
We're sending the shots out, All right. Real quick, Dean says over there in Israel, news from here. 2 Israelis killed by a driver for humanitarian aid truck coming through the Allenby, is that how you say it? Allenby, crossing from Jordan. Very interesting. Oh, shit. I'm going to look into that for sure.
The latest headlines, top stories on this evening. And let's go back to the breaking news of ABC pulling Jimmy Kimmel off the air over comments he made about Charlie Kirk in the recent days. Here is the coverage from Fox 11 Los Angeles. Just want to bring this to you to give you the latest update.
ABC has pulled Jimmy Kimmel live over Kimmel's comments relating to Charlie.
Why are these videos so fucking loud? I brought it down.
Kirk. Sky Fox right there over the theater.
What's up,
Variety
Joseph?
is
Good
reporting
morning.
that the network would take the popular late night show off its schedule indefinitely after Next Star Media, one of the biggest owners of TV stations in the U.S., said it intended to preempt airings of the program. The company said it strongly objects to recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel and will replace the show with other programming in its ABC-affiliated markets. Meantime...
Yeah, so we will definitely see what they will be replacing Jimmy Kimmel with right now. But tonight, we are getting a new reaction from President Trump. Remember, he is overseas right now in England. It's just past 1 o'clock in the morning, but he is still giving the updates via his Truth Social right now. I want to show you this. He says...
We saw this tweeted out or Truth Social out yesterday. I saw this tweet last night.
Great news for America. The ratings-challenged Jimmy Kimmel show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert. If that's possible, that leaves Jimmy and Seth, 2 total losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC. President DJT. We're also...
Now, here's the thing regarding this whole topic. I'm going to be honest. The reason why I bear the question, do you support Kimmel being canceled, is here's the way I look at it, is unless someone's done something so fucking egregious, like what Pathkiller is saying right here, if something like that is true, then absolutely deserved. But when it comes to someone talking politics that you don't like, even from my side, right? I don't want them to ever suppress me, and I don't ever want them to cancel me. So why would I want and wish that on the other side? I just say, just don't watch it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. And guess what? The ratings will naturally do what they do, and the TV executives, like Steve Easy said, they only care about the ad revenue. You know what I mean? So if you don't have a huge audience because you guys all stopped watching, they're going to naturally cancel himself, right? That's what's going to happen. So I really don't like the interjection. I do care about the focus of the issue, but not where we're trying to get other people canceled. That's not something that I support, just an FYI.
Getting other reaction from Rapid Response 47 saying they're doing their viewers a favor. Jimmy is a sick freak. And then also we are getting from Trump War Room on X. What happened to Jimmy Kimmel isn't censorship, it's accountability. So again,
I can agree with that. But I just don't like that it's coming from our side and forcing the hand for accountability, because then it is censorship.
Is the reaction coming from the White House and beyond right now with Trump's administration? We know that there will be more insight as well and more reaction probably as the evening goes on, and we'll be giving you those updates right here on Live Now from Fox. In just a little bit, we'll also get reaction from Turning Point on what.
And I agree, Jimmy. Don't think that I don't think Jimmy Kimmel sucks. He has the worst takes. The worst. But if you don't like him, don't watch him. You know, that's what I do.
Not only about the loss of Charlie Kirk, but also what we are seeing, really, so many people across the board getting
What's up, Christopher
fired
Collins?
over
Good morning.
some of the comments and actions they have been making over.
And Brother TVT up there in Canada, good morning, good morning. We're going to move on real quick. We're going to go into the next ordeal. Trump saying that he's designating Antifa as a terrorist organization. So let's go ahead and bring that up for you guys and present this. And 3, 2, 1, bam.
Okay, lots of news to cover today. Some breaking news today coming out of the White House. President Trump on Wednesday saying that he's designating the
path killer. That's crazy. I didn't know that. I'm going to be honest. I had no idea about that. If there is something that is that egregious, then I think that he should be canceled because of that, not because his takes suck and his ratings suck. I would say, no, you're getting canceled because you're a fucking... I'm gonna calm down before I get myself banned.
Left-wing anti-fascist Antifa movement as a terrorist organization. The president taking to social media,
What's up, Brammer?
I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa, a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster, as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Hell yeah, Steve Posey. I'll definitely listen to it.
Retired Marine Intelligence Officer and host of the Strap Podcast, Hal Kempfer, is here. Hal, we don't have specifics at this hour. What questions do you have about the president's announcement?
Well, Austin, really, the question I have is, how are they going to designate Antifa as a terrorist organization? One of the things about Antifa is it is, as you said, a movement. It is a bunch of
whoops, it's not only a movement, but it's also a funded movement, right?
One of the things about Antifa is individuals, small groups, if you will, that do actions under the banner of Antifa, which is short for anti-fascist. And
I didn't know that that's what Antifa meant. Anti-fascist. That totally fucking makes sense, even though they're the real fascists. You know, just saying.
And they've been around for well over a decade or more. They've been, very active. If you recall what was going on with the federal building up in Portland, Oregon, that was a lot of folks that were there.
You gotta love how instead of actually contending with an argument, the motherfucker comes in here saying, fucking, no, your side's stupid. No, making that kind of comment right there, not actually giving me some discourse, like a real argument. Instead, you just go to ad hom attacks, which is okay. It just shows your lackluster ability to be able to argue on this shit. So that's okay. Take a back seat, little homie.
Doing damage to the building, all the stuff going on there, did so under the Antifa banner. So my first question is, how are you going to do that? The other question, too, is we don't have we don't have clear federal law.
No, just chomos get me, like chomos, anybody that's a PDF, anything, all that shit. That is something that I just will lose my shit on.
On domestic terrorism, that's also been a big area of how do you define domestic terrorism versus terrorism per se. So this is saying, well, I'm designating them as a terrorist group, but I don't have a body of federal law which defines what a domestic terrorist group is as opposed to an international terrorist group. He's already kind of gone out there and designated the cartels, the drug cartels, as terrorist groups, so they're narco-terrorists. But this one, I have to tell you that it's making a statement for sure, and it probably will focus resources and investigative resources.
I hear that, Lappy. I got that. I I respect it.
At looking at this stuff, and they do a lot of violence. They've done a lot of stuff over the many years, and they certainly rank as such as a violent extremist organization. But I'm sure the lawyers are going to look at this and say, okay, how do you implement something like this? Because there's a lot of questions on them as an organization per se, and all.
Very interesting, by the way, Anson. I wonder if you still got that paper, bro? I'm interested in that. We got Project Veopod, my man Jake. My man, always appreciate you hanging out with us on the Insane Wheels channel, man. Hopefully you're enjoying your Thursday morning so far. We're hungover today, but hey, we're pushing on through,
Also, a lot of questions on, can you have a domestic, even a violent domestic political movement, can you designate them as a terrorist group under the law, and then how that would be done? So, yeah, I got a lot of questions.
Let's expand on what Antifa is. There might be some viewers watching at home who don't track the news day to day quite like you and I do.
Right, and that's exactly what we do here. And so you guys don't have to sit there and weed out through the fucking bullshit that they're spewing to you guys for the 23 hours that I'm not on live. I'm able to give you guys what's actually happening. An actual factual of what's happening, not the emotional part.
Can you try and sum up what exactly the point of the group is?
Oh, absolutely. When you get into, first off, there's far left and far right groups. All right. And then there's groups like, ISIS and Al-Qaeda, which are Islamic extremist organizations. There are sovereign citizens who are very violent extremists, and they kind of reject federal government as a whole on a variety of reasons. They reject state government, things like that. And then you have Antifa, which is more on the far left cycle, anti-fascist, some would say leaning more towards the socialist side. But they have been involved with a number of protests.
That's right, Get Some. Great to see you, by the way. And real quick, we're going to do a quick little, PSA.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking.
Shit. Real quick, we got Naomi saying, I only have 20 likes. Get the likes up. Yo, she is setting down the rules. We definitely should have at least 30. We got 30 of you guys in here right now. You guys can hit the like button for me. You guys don't have to like what's happening around the world, but you guys can like it for me and my takes, man. I very much appreciate your laborious work hitting that like. Yes.
They interpret as fascism, but they seem to focus on a lot of federal law enforcement. It seems to be one of the things that they really kind of look at a lot. And so they've been, you'll see protests out there, and you'll see Antifa signs pop up. And with that, you'll see vandalism and damage to property. Every once in a while, you will see attacks on individuals. To my knowledge, they haven't been doing anything along the line of some of the other terrorist groups. For example, if you recall, Oklahoma City, that was those two, that was one with members was a sovereign citizen.
Well, that's exactly my whole point, Anson, is I hate being a contradiction in anything, right? You know what I mean? If I don't want this to happen to me, and I remember and feel how it felt to be censored or any of that kind of shit, now just always know, for instance, that was just one example, but I don't want to ever be a contradiction. If I don't want it to happen to me, I'm not going to make it happen to them, because as soon as they do get in power again, which they will get back in power, it's going to happen. when that does happen, you know what I mean? You don't want them to flip the script onto us, right? So,
an anti-government extremist. Both of them were kind of anti-government extremists. They blew up the federal building back in 1995. Okay, that was more of a far-right thing. Okay, now they would kind of fall in the same thing. They would also say, we don't have a clear organization. So it's not the first time that a terrorist per se or somebody doing terror.
No one's coming after you, dude. No one's coming after you. No one here is going to do any of that shit. We are not the left, okay? Just so you know, Rammer, we don't advocate for political violence here. So yeah, no, you're allowed to speak your mind, but be respectful of people.
Terrorism has not had a strong organization that they can point to that the government can go after. But this is more the far left side. They haven't been doing things along that line, but they have been doing a lot of property damage stuff, a lot of protests, very disruptive. And I think what this does is kind of linking what happened in Utah with Charlie Kirk to the far left, and by extension saying that that was Antifa. And it's an interesting connection. I haven't seen anything pop up in the evidence so far that, except for some of the stuff that he wrote on the ammunition, which was an anti-fascist slogan, that could be interpreted as being anti-fascist, hence the term Antifa for anti-fascist. One could make a connection.
You know, and again, I didn't know that's what Antifa meant, was anti-fascist. I never actually cared enough to know, I guess. And yes, it's always great to see you too, Brother Dwayne. Always appreciate you hanging out here with us, man. You guys could be anywhere else in the world, but you guys decide to be right here with me, man. Can't thank you guys enough for that. We got Prez in the building as well. Great to see you, by the way. Happy Thursday. Happy, what I would call either a thirsty Thursday or a toke Thursday or a combination of both.
There. But I think that's pretty much where we are with this, presidential decision, if you will, to designate them as such. And then again, the other question is, does Congress have to do something? Because when I go back to, 5, 6, 7 years ago, there was congressional action to go after Antifa. And this is not the first time that President Trump has talked about designating Antifa as a terrorist organization. He talked about this back in 2020. And it appears.
Well, let me just go ahead and break the ground rules for anybody that is a left-wing extremist in my chat. You can go ahead and advocate for your worldview all day long. As soon as you advocate for violence or you're extremely disrespectful, those kind of things are going to get you the hell out of here. But you can voice your opinion and everything that you believe in. Just be respectful of what you're saying and don't advocate for violence. There's a zero tolerance. It breaks TOS too, by the way.
Maybe whatever he did back then was undone on the Biden administration, so now he's having to go back and redo it. Yeah, it's this is one for the lawyers, and certainly trying to prosecute Antifa as a terrorist organization or terrorist group. That will be an interesting courtroom setting because there's a lot of things that a judge would have to get clear on that.
Remind us, what has happened to other groups that the White House has deemed a terrorist organization in recent months?
The other groups were drug cartels. And with those groups, and keep in mind, they're international or transnational. So they've been...
I think if anything, that's what I would be considered right there. Steve Easy says, hell, I am an American-only extremist. I like that. I do like that.
Doing things such as with loads of drugs coming across the Caribbean, they have done direct strikes. They have done strike missions. Now, the question on Antifa would be, okay, if they're designated terrorists, could you do some sort of strike mission on them? And I think that would be a lot more difficult to justify because it would be on U.S.
You mean a globalist, right?
Soil. And as far as I know, most of the Antifa members are U.S. citizens, and I'm sure that the courts would take a dim view of avoiding any due process or anything like that, just because of the political protest sort of thing. So that would be one of those things. The other thing too is we've seen some.
This is a very interesting ordeal, though.
Stuff where people have protested and they have said stuff in support of Hamas. Hamas is a designated U.S. terrorist group. There have been some moves to link those protesting for Hamas against Israel as terrorists themselves. So far, that hasn't really worked out well, except for, of course, if they're not U.S. citizens. They have been, as we have seen,
What's up, Gunpowder Nitro, as well as chatting with Stacks. We got some legends in here. Always appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with us.
They've been accelerated into being deported back to wherever they're from or
What's
somewhere
up, Bob?
overseas.
Good morning, up there in Canada.
That has happened as well. But theoretically, you take it to the nth degree, you say they're terrorists, but you'd still have to show a clear and present danger in order to do some sort of direct action thing on these terrorists. They'd have to be engaged in something where you still have to follow the rules of force in terms of, or the escalation of the use of force in terms of whatever's done.
Man, all right. So we're going to be moving on into our next ordeal. Again, this has been something that we've been talking about regarding Charlie Kirk and the assassin. We have right here, we've been talking about how Utah does have the firing squad. So that is in discussion here today. We're going to bring this up. Charlie Kirk, shooting, firing squad, a legal execution method in Utah. I believe that they are just talking about it. I don't think that this is something that they're super planning yet. But if you talk about it, eventually in politics, it becomes that, right? So that's putting pressure.
Here too, live now from Fox.
Why is it so fucking loud? Damn it. There we go.
Let's turn our attention as the DA in Utah yesterday calling it an American tragedy, the fatal shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk exactly a week ago on the campus of Utah Valley University. We did see some of the charges being filed yesterday, including aggravated murder, which potentially carries being put to death, of course, the death sentence, the death penalty in this case, a man accused of it, as the attorney Jeff Gray calling the murder American tragedy in this press conference, talking about.
So this is the charges as of right now from Utah's county DA's office. So this is the state charges, not the federal. There isn't any federal charges yet. So as of right now on the state side is aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, obstruction of justice, 2 counts of that, 2 counts of witness tampering, and commission of a violent offense in the presence of a child. Actually, it should be of multiple children. It wasn't just a child. There's multiple children there at that whole ordeal.
Some of these charges. Let's be joined right now by Deseret News reporter Dennis Romboy. I appreciate your time here on Live Now from Fox.
Interesting. Get some.
District attorney said he made this decision independently, saying there was no influence from others on what they're seeking. Can you just speak to some of the history of the death penalty?
Yes. Normally, murder is not a federal charge, correct? But you know what should be a federal charge is assassinations, because it wasn't just a murder. Now, is every assassin a murderer? Yes. Is every murderer an assassin? No.
Utah and what the DA is seeking in this.
Yeah, so obviously the death penalty has existed in Utah for a long time. For a lot of years, a defendant, a convicted killer could choose.
Yes, make sure you guys hit that like button. You guys don't have to like all the craziness, man, but you guys can like it for me and my takes, man.
Firing squad. And
Good morning,
that
AU.
was rescinded in 2004, so the only option was lethal injection. However, in 2015, the Utah legislature reinstated the firing squad as an option only if the drugs are not available for a lethal injection. And that's where the law stands currently.
And how important was it for the DA there, Jeff Gray, to speak to that, saying...
You know, that's a very interesting take there, Anson. Very interesting.
It was an independent decision that he read some of the facts.
I tend to agree with
why
that.
He's choosing to move in this direction for the sentence.
Yeah, I think, obviously this has been very politicized, and people on both sides calling for this or for that. And I think he looked at his evidence. There were aggravating circumstances. There are probably a dozen or so aggravating.
Who the hell is saying anybody that is native is white? Who's making that claim, Rammer?
circumstances under which a county attorney could file aggravated murder charges that carries a capital punishment along with it. And this fit into that category in terms of, I think they charged it under the provision that Charlie Kirk was killed by this suspect, but also he endangered the lives of other people as well. Of course, we didn't know if there's an active shooter situation right after this happened, but so that was the way that the aggravating circumstances were charged in this case.
And it's so very interesting to look at almost this on a case-by-case basis in different states and different protocols when approaching the death penalty. Can you speak to the...
And that's right. Each state does handle shit just not the same. They handle shit differently.
History of that in Utah, obviously, is a complicated history. How would you classify it?
It's complicated, and in Utah, there was an effort in 2022, I believe, by some Republican lawmakers to repeal the death penalty. That proposed bill failed to get out of the House committee. Since Utah was the first state to execute someone after the United States reinstated the death penalty in 1976, Utah executed Gary Gilmore by firing squad in 1977.
So 1977, was that the last time it was used in Utah?
And the state has had 7 executions since then. I think 3 of them have been by firing squad. The remainder have been by lethal injection.
Right. So the last time was used in the 70s, but everything else had been lethal injection, right?
That is obviously what we're talking about here, just kind of the route in which they would do with the death penalty. And when you say firing squad, it obviously brings a graphic image to your mind. Is that a possibility in this case with the suspect, Tyler Robinson, if he is convicted?
I'd say it's a possibility if, in fact, the drugs for lethal injection are not available within 30 days of the execution date. That's what the law says currently. So I would think that would be a possibility if those drugs are not available. The last execution here in Utah was last year, 2024. That man was executed by lethal injection. The last firing squad execution was in 2014.
Wow, so there was a firing squad execution that was done in 2014.
I believe.
Wow.
And can you speak to it at all? Because we see some of these death penalty cases in different parts of the country where the defense...
But that's not death by lethal injection, right? Or is it lethal injection done by firing squad? Like, how does that work?
Isn't necessarily trying to find a not guilty or kind of make them innocent in a way, but also to take the death penalty off the case. Do you believe that potentially could be the defense's move? Has that been any precedent in Utah before?
Yeah, I think prosecutors have used the death penalty as a bargaining chip.
That's a really good, really interesting and good point right there, Path Killer. I like that.
If your client pleads guilty to, the charges straight up, then we'll take the death penalty
right now,
off
Jimmy.
the table. That certainly could be a possibility here in this case. As you know, Mr. Robinson does not have an attorney currently, and so that issue has not been discussed publicly at this point, but I would believe that would be on the table.
All right, very good. Dennis Romboy, I appreciate your time, your insight there on this case in Utah. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. All right.
Okay, as of September 2025, 4 people remain on death row in Utah. That is the answer. There are 4 people that remain on death row in Utah right now.
Great conversation as always. So many complex details to this. A live picture right now there.
I got you.
In Phoenix, Arizona, as Turning Point headquarters.
What's up, Frederick Frame?
The tributes.
Good morning. Hopefully you're enjoying the morning.
Continue to pour in. And I also want to put up this in Nature talking about Utah death penalty laws, as this aggravated murder is the only charge eligible for the death penalty. Lethal injection is the primary method of this. Firing squad also considered a legal.
Interesting. Okay, so that answered the question. You guys in the chat also answered the question, but this statement also explained it.
Alternative, and Utah has executed 8 men since the U.S. reinstated capital punishment back in 1976. I'm Andy Mack. We're back after this.
Very interesting. All right, let's go ahead and move on into the next ordeal. This is a weird breaking news story that happened a couple of hours ago. Let's go ahead and bring this up. This is Epic Universe guest dies after riding Stardust Racers in Orlando. So let's go ahead and bring this up. I'm not really sure what park this is, if it's actually called Epic Universe or Epic Universe is the actual name of the ride, or I have no idea what it is. So we're going to find out right now.
Welcome back to Live Now.
God, it started so freaking loud. There we go.
From Fox, and good morning to you. If you're just now tuning in, I'm Gina.
What's up, Dirty? Good morning.
Right now, we are following some breaking news. A news alert just now coming into our Live Now from Fox studio. Take a look at your screen. We're learning breaking news overnight. A Universal Orlando guest has died after becoming unresponsive at Epic Universe.
Real quick, before we get into it, Bob says, Mike, what do you think of Tucker and Candace wondering about Israel's involvement in Kirk's death? Okay, well, here's my honest, my honest thing about this whole Charlie Kirk thing. People are like, oh, this was planned by Mossad, and this was, execute, all this different shit. I truly believe the shit that happened actually happened. I truly, truly believe that. Now, there may be another person involved type shit, but I'm not worried about that. You know what I mean? Like the old white dude that got arrested and he took the fucking hit so homeboy could run. I'm sure those two worked on some shit together and made that shit happen. I'm sure they planned that. But what we saw actually play out is what I truly believe actually happened.
Fox 35 Orlando's Amanda Ruiz joining us live in Orlando, Florida this morning with more on what we know so far. Amanda, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, a Universal spokesperson is calling this whole incident tragic. This happened at Epic Universe. It's a new theme park here for Universal. It's only been open for about 4 months.
So it's actually Universal Studios.
Stardust Racers in Epic Universe was closed.
Oh, no. Okay. So it's actually called Epic Universe. That's the whole. Okay. I just never have heard that park before, so I apologize. I like actually having the facts of whatever we're talking about.
Wednesday, after a guest became unresponsive after riding the roller coaster. Fox 35 was told the guest was taken to the hospital where they later died.
Well, this is exactly why they say if you have any medical conditions, bro, you got a heart problem, you got any of that shit, do not get on these motherfucking rides. You know what I mean? Don't do it. You're going to give us a fucking lawsuit. You know what I mean?
Stardust Racers is one of the attractions at Universal's new theme park, Epic Universe. It's a dual launch coaster that sends guests off on a speed of 62 miles per hour, reaching heights of up to 133 feet. According to...
Man, we got Go Fast in the building. Yes, I actually joined in at the very end, my man. Go Fast.
A Universal spokesperson, they told Fox 35 they are devastated by this event and extend their sincerest sympathies to the guest's family. The park is committed to cooperating with the ongoing investigation. Later, Epic Universe...
Get some says, I hear that's a killer ride. Shit.
Guests saw this extended closure notification on their Universal app for Stardust Racers on Wednesday night.
Man.
Waiting for an update on this case and this investigation from the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Epic Universe has announced that Stardust Racers will be closed for today. Reporting in Orange County, Amanda Ruiz, Fox 35 News.
Amanda, thank you so much for joining us for this breaking news alert. Tragic news we are learning out of the Sunshine State, and definitely...
I don't thank people that only fucking agree with me. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Family, and our thoughts and prayers. Thank you so much for the update. You and your team have a great rest of your day.
What's up, Arm James? Good morning. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far, and that's a tragedy that happened over there in Orlando. We're going to move on into a little bit of economics real quick. NVIDIA is to buy $5 billion stake in Intel. So let's go ahead and present this for you guys. And 3, 2, 1, bam.
Take a look at...
And this is a very short segment right here, by the way.
The latest from the Associated Press as they report breaking news. NVIDIA, the world's leading chip maker, announcing this Thursday that it's investing $5 billion in Intel, and it will collaborate with the struggling semiconductor company on products. NVIDIA and Intel will team up to work on custom data centers that form the backbone of artificial intelligence infrastructure, as well as personal computer products. NVIDIA confirming that in a recent press release. As you can imagine, this is a developing story. We're also learning from the Associated Press on this Thursday morning that NVIDIA said it will spend $5 billion to buy Intel common stock at $23.28 a share.
Oh, that's not what his comment meant. Okay, I misread then. I thought that was the claim there for a second. I'm like, no way.
It's subject to regulatory approval.
He said that he agrees with me. I got you. I thought you meant I only thank people that I agree with. I'm like, what? What do you mean?
Now, the agreement provides a lifeline for Intel, which was a Silicon Valley pioneer that enjoyed decades of growth as its processors powered the personal computer boom, but fell into a slump after missing the shift to the mobile computing era unleashed by the iPhone's 2007 debut. Intel fell even further behind.
Yeah, Papa, isn't it a thing that there's some, I guess NVIDIA is banned now from being purchased in a certain country, like a major country. I can't remember which major country it is, but I just saw it in the news like 2 days ago.
In recent years, amid the artificial intelligence boom that's propelled.
But truth be told, I don't follow NVIDIA like that, though. You know what I mean? I really don't follow economics as a whole. I don't follow it like I do with geopolitics and world news, right?
NVIDIA into the world's most valuable company. In pre-market trading, Intel soared its shares 30%. NVIDIA shares added 3%. And we actually have a quote that...
Yeah, that's very true. That's very, very, very true right there, Steve. I just did that last night.
We want to share with you on this Thursday from NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang. He says, quote, this historic collaboration tightly couples NVIDIA's AI and accelerated computing stack with Intel's CPUs and the vast x86 ecosystem, a fusion of two world-class platforms. He goes,
no, you're going to have to cue me in a bit there, Steve. I've heard a little bit, but not anything enough to be able to speak on.
To say, quote, together we will expand our ecosystems and lay the foundation for the next era of computing, end quote. So we are following this breaking news on this Thursday. If you're just now tuning in, NVIDIA to invest $5 billion in Intel. Companies are expected to work together on...
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to have to look into that.
AI infrastructure.
There was something that I had saw, but maybe it wasn't a ban. Maybe it was exactly what you're talking about right there, where China is saying, they're trying to get them not to do it, right? Anyways, let me go ahead and make sure that we are 100% caught up to date on all of the news coverage today. Let me go ahead and refresh on my side, on the news side. Nope, that we're 100% caught up, ladies and gentlemen. Well. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send you guys off to a raid. I'm going to find someone who's live right now as we speak. I'm going to probably send you guys off to Black Dragon because he started right around the time that I started. Let's see if he's still live. No, he's not. Doesn't look like it. So we're going to send you guys off to... You know what? I like Chaotic Truth. We're going to send you guys over to Chaotic Truth. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for being here, man. We make... all of you guys make this show. You know what I mean? I'm very appreciative of all your guys' engagement. You guys come in here. You guys, like I always say, and this is not cliche, you guys literally could pick anywhere else to be in the world, but you guys decide to be right here with me, man. So I'm very honored. I'm very honored to be able to present you guys the world news and geopolitics and even economics. You know what I mean? So thank you guys for trusting me for, you guys are all truth seekers here. So with that being said, much love, honor, respect to everybody. Stick around for the raid. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the way out. It helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning for more of the world's madness. Until then, God bless everybody.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken, he rides on to his ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his step, refusing to submit.